With Keymon you can see what keys I'm pressing. This should help. Note, it doesn't show the super key. I've created a keyboard-oriented GUI library and a file browser that uses that library. This file browser does not take mouse input, only keyboard input. Keyboard input is better for most purposes. Pointer devices are good at inputting arbitrary spatial data, and are best used for actions requiring spatial data like drawing and gaming, but for the majority of actions using a mouse is silly and tedious. It has the ability to detect when multiple non-meta keys, like S and K for example, are down at the same time. In this case pressing S and K scrolls down. I'm using IJKL in place of the arrow keys because they're easier to type. Other than the standard library, it pretty much only requires OpenGL and its associated libraries, which are supported pretty much everywhere. It runs on Linux, Mac, and Windows. The Linux version has the most features. There is also an mscripten build that runs in the web browser for demo purposes. It has all the common features you would expect a file browser to have. Copy/cut/paste uses the usual shortcuts, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+X, Ctrl+V. Undo/redo, Ctrl+Z, Ctrl+Shift+Z. \forward, Alt+left arrow, Alt+right arrow. Path bar. Find. Recursive find. Ability to detect and access devices, meaning, partitions, flash drives, DVDs, etc. And it can eject devices like flash drives. Ability to create bookmarks, which are for getting to particular folders quickly. The equivalent of Ctrl+click, select multiple items individually, is done with the multi-select toggle. Trash and deleting files. Notice how I make deleting files require conscious thought by requiring the user to type delete, instead of just D. This ensures that they are really sure that they want to perform this potentially dangerous action. The equivalent of Shift+click, select sequence of items, is done with the drag button. Creating new empty file is done through the menu. Creating new folder, either through the menu or through the typical shortcut, Ctrl+Shift+N. Faster scrolling with SFK and SFI, which scrolls 10 items at a time instead of 1. Ability to jump to the first entry whose name begins with a specific character just by hitting a key. Open with application, detecting applications, and setting default application for a particular extension. Open current directory in your preferred terminal emulator. Sorting folders and files based on their properties, like the time of last modification. Get the size of selected files and folders. Preview files. And you can modify much of the layout. And it has some less common features as well. It can expand trees of folders like OS X SFinder does. It has a location history list, which is useful when you want to go somewhere you've been recently, but you don't remember exactly where it is. It has the ability to record and execute macros. These macros are a lot like Vim macros, and are intended to eliminate repetition for relatively simple tasks. One benefit of the program only accepting keyboard input is that macros can include any kind of action. Consider the situation where a professional photographer has taken photos of a wedding and they're all called camera_star.png. You want to rename them wedding_star.png instead. This is accomplished by using 3 keyboard shortcuts. Ctrl+R to record, Ctrl+E to end recording, and Ctrl+D to do the recording. RED is pretty easy to remember because they're all adjacent to each other on a QWERTY keyboard. Try the online demo now by clicking the link in the description. The online demo uses a fake file system. It allows you to see how the software works without installing anything.